Winter Woolies online sale commences this Friday the 3rd of June and finishes on Monday the 6th of June. Getting a little bit of traction all over Australia. Great to catch up with Mike Howie from Copper Lodge. Firstly, mate, welcome to back to Campbell's Comments, and welcome to the New Tune Experience.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. It's good to be involved, and it looks a good catalogue, and hopefully it's a good sale over the weekend, and plenty of horses change hands.
Yeah, absolutely. And you were just saying there before we might have had a couple of false starts. You might not have been your first foray into the New Tune Experience. You've actually already purchased a mare off the online sales.
Yeah, I purchased a mare a couple of years ago off the New Tune sale, and the experience I had, and I've had a couple of dealings with Mark Barton, and I found them really good. And over here on the other side of the country, I just think, well, New Tune looks like they're going above and beyond, and I'd like to be part of one of their sales. So here we are.
We'll get onto your two lots very quickly. Did you find the registration in that easy enough to deal through? That's one of the bits of feedback I get from people. They find it a bit convoluted, but...
Initially it was hard. It was hard when I got to the point. I think I rang one of the ladies in the office and said, look, all I'm trying to do is buy a horse, not graduate from university. But I think, once it's up and running, and I've actually used the Auctions Plus and watched a few cattle sales as well, so I've actually had a little bit of side benefit from the New Tune experience.
That is a great little side note behind the cattle part. I'll be very, very happy to hear that as well. One thing you just said then about ringing the guys, you can ring MEO and Darby Smith. They'll actually help you. They'll point you through it. So if people are interested in getting involved, don't leave it to the last minute. Don't leave it to over the weekend. Make sure you get on there and register. Go to the Nutrien Equine Standardbred page and you'll be able to go from there. You'll actually also find the catalogue, and you will find two of your mares. Now, the one reason we're selling, Mike?
Because I got a bit carried away last year and probably bred more mares than I probably should have. I had 4 or 5 good race mares and fillies, which for one reason or another all came to the end of their careers, and so we bred them. They all seem to go in foal. So I've ended up with 16 mares in foal, which is probably 4 more than I really want. So I just thought I'd pick a couple out, try this sale, and just move them on. And I do have fillies out of these mares, so I can sell the mares, and I'm still retaining the families.
The first one's a New Zealand mare in Pure Empathy out of Copacabana. She was a 12-win horse herself and set a time of 1:57. But being by El Sue, you get that Falcon Sealster back into the bloodlines as well. Be a bit of a sought-after mare, this one.
Yeah, she's actually done a pretty good job. This mare, she's only sort of just 15 hands, and she was initially purchased out of the Ready to Run sale in New Zealand and came to Perth, and the owners had quite a bit of fun with it. I think she won sort of 12 or 13 races, won a heat of the WA Oaks. And when she'd finished racing, they weren't breeders, so they offered the mare to me to buy, so I purchased her. And the first 2 foals are both winners, and then and a third foal is a current 2-year-old, which out of necessity I had to keep it. It kicked its leg as a yearling and had an injury to her back leg, so it was by Fly Like an Eagle, a local stallion here.
Yep.
And the filly is called Feeling Empathy, and she's had 5 starts for us, and she had a win in a place, and goes pretty good, so we're pretty happy with her.
That's an important form update too there, then, because that's not on the pedigree page just yet, but Feeling Empathy has won a race. So yeah, she's only had she had 5 foals now, so 3 of those have won. The filly out of Sunshine Beach not named, and then you've only got a 2-year-old yearling colt by Ultimate Machete, and then she's in foal herself to Soho Tribeca.
Yeah, I sold the Ultimate Machete colt at the Perth APG sales back in March. He made about 28,000. He was a nice dark coloured colt, so he sold well. And the Sunshine Beach filly actually injured herself as a yearling, so she never ever got broken in. So the one miss that the mare's had has not got to the track. The other one, yearling.
Well, the Ultimate Machete part too, though, $28,000. That's huge for a horse that stands for 5,000 or 6,000. I don't think he stands overly dear. So it's a great return if people want to get into being able to breed and sell at yearling sales.
Oh, absolutely. I think he might have been a $3,000 service fee. He was a nice type of horse, not overly big like the mother, but he was dark and he presented up well yearling sale day, and we were happy with what he made. This mare now, she's heavily involved to Soho Tribeca, It's a mid-September service, so she's probably going to foal about the end of August. So potentially someone even want to race it or sell it to the yearling sales. Hopefully there's some good returns there for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I had everything sorted out, Mike. You'd be happy to know this, ready to go. And unfortunately, my page is refreshed the wrong way. The other one is lot number 36, I think.
32.
32, I wasn't far off.
Yep.
And if the internet had worked quicker, I'd start to sound smart. Secret Dragon is this mare. She's a Sutter Hanover mare. And she's done all right in the breeding barn as well, this mare. She's had a couple of winners as well, including Follow the Dragon. That's won $30,000 in stakes.
Yeah, she was a mare. I actually raced this mare. I bred her. She won, I think she might have won 9 races and about 60 or 70,000 in stakes. Very, very fast mare. Very high speed mare. If she'd been a little bit tougher, probably would have gone on to bigger and better things. But she was one that I always wanted to breed from because I just thought with her high speed that she could throw something. I bred her to Follow the Stars first foal, and I've got a horse called Follow the Dragon who I currently train. I have him in work at my place at the moment. He's a lovely horse to do anything with. He's run, I think, 2-3 seconds and 3/3 in his last 7 or 8 starts. So he's a continual place getter.
Yep.
Only wins when it's not quite his turn. But he's a nice bread and butter horse. I'm just trying to think what else. The next one out.
Gypsy Dragon was a sports rider. She's had 1 win.
Yeah, she's a sports rider. I sold her at the yearling sales, and a local fella bought her and has raced her. Might have only had 5 or 6 starts, but she has won a race. And
then the Highview Tommy bloke in Mr. Copper, I'll go with, Kopa.
Yeah, Mr. Cooper, I think they pronounce it. He ran 3rd in a 2-year-old race at Pinjarra on Monday, just gone. Yeah, he's a nice, handy little horse. He doesn't look like being a superstar, but it looks like the owners will have a little bit of fun with him. And then the next foal, we sold an Ultimate Machete filly at the yearling sales. I think it might have made about $16,000.
Yep.
So, again, not bad money on a sort of $3,000 service fee. But I've got another horse that I trained that won a race. We won with her at Pinjarra last Monday. Her name's Secret Reaction, and she's actually a half sister to Secret Dragon. So she's one of her racing at the moment. So I've had a few in the family, and they all seem to run. Just haven't had an out and out champion, but there's another Gloucester Park horse called Secret Operation. He's racing around Perth. He's won 80 or 90,000, and he's a half to this mare as well. So yeah, there's a bit of pedigree there, a lot of background, and the mare looks like she's going to be a producer. She already has been.
I was going to say she's done a good job, and with all due respect, Follow the Stars and Highview Tommy, they're not pin-up horses by any stretch. Sports Rider's done a great job, but they've both done a really, really good job. The exciting part, I think, from a breeding point of view, in foal to Poster Boy, another son of Sun Beach somewhere. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to see what they're doing, one in the breeding barn, but also on the racetrack. So he's going to be an exciting prospect for someone. And again, another early service.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I like Poster Boy. I think I might have bred 3 to him last year, and the Sun Beach somewhere factor out of an arts place mare. He's probably he's got a lot of upside, I think, Poster Boy. And with this mare, as you said, I think the service date might have been like mid-September. So again, another end of August foal. So people who buy either of my mares won't have to wait long until they get a return.
No.
Out quickly.
No, well, that's only 2 months away, really, isn't it? Now, so they buy one get one free just about by the time they get it landed.
Yeah, absolutely, and you don't have to wait too long to hopefully see what you've bought.
And it's very positive. The feedback, off the recent APG sale, was very, very positive. So breeding in Western Australia is on a good trend. It's upward and positive. So that if people do want to buy these and potentially send them back through the sales, I think you said 16 and 28,000 for both these mares' progeny at last year's sales. So there's a chance they could get a nice return very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. The market in Perth is very buoyant. There's a really good vibe about harness racing in Western Australia at the moment. The yearling sales for the last 3 years have been strong, and people who have tried to buy horses in some cases haven't been able to. People who maybe didn't think that it was worthwhile breeding and are now looking to breed horses, looking to buy some brood mares. There's probably more interest now than I can remember in the last 10 years. So It's probably exciting going forward for people who you want to have a dabble of breeding one.
Absolutely, and you've got to be able to get into the right spot. One thing I know about you, Mike, like I've had a couple of great conversations with you. You're very open that if people want to know anything about them, they can give you a ring prior to the sales. But even afterwards, I'd imagine you're happy to sort of talk to people about the breeding and which direction they may or may not head if they wanted to start off their breeding empire.
Yeah, that's right. Advice is always free. If someone has got a mare and they're looking to breed something, not that my opinion is right. There are cleverer people out there than me, but sometimes it's just a matter of, as I've spoken to you before, sometimes just breeding the type of mare you got to the type of stallion, and make sure that you're trying to, to marry up those important points, probably a little bit more so than the breeding in some cases.
It's interesting you say type, and I will let you go, but Lot 20, she's a true El Sue, isn't she? When you look at the photo on the website, I'm like, yep, that's definitely her.
Yeah, she is definitely an El Sue, and she's a nice kind mare too. One of those sort of mares that even if you retired from breeding her eventually, you'd probably keep her as a pet because she's very quiet. She's just been one of those mares that one of those mares you like, that you walk out into a 100-acre paddock, call her and she come up to you.
Mike, thank you very much for joining me. Great to have you as part of the nutrient experience. I love chatting to you anyway. I could chat to you for hours on end, but thank you very much for putting these two horses into the sale. And as I said, if anyone wants to get in touch with you, your phone number's there on the catalogue. So to give Mike a ring before Monday, the auction closes, but reach out to him. They're both commercial horses in Western Australia, but they'd be very commercial here on the eastern seaboard as well, either Queensland, New South Wales or Victoria. So they've got a lot of upside, both your mares.
Yep. Thanks very much, Paul. Thanks for your time.